For 20 years, one car has been the unofficial king of Indian roads. It's been trusted by families for their biggest road trips, relied on by cab fleets for millions of kilometers, and even chosen by film stars who wanted comfort without drawing too much attention. In 2026, Toyota just gave this legend what could be its final update before retirement. This is the new Toyota Innova Crysta, and today we're going to find out if it's still worth your hard-earned money. Welcome back to Wheels of Luxury. Let's get into it. Before we dive in, here's what's coming up in today's video. We'll walk through everything that's changed on the outside, what's new inside the cabin, the engine and performance numbers, the features you get and the ones you don't, pricing across every single variant, and then I'll give you my honest, no-nonsense verdict on who should actually buy this car in 2026. Stick around till the end because there's an important update about the Crysta's future that could change your entire buying decision. Let's start with the exterior, because that's the first thing anyone notices. Toyota hasn't reinvented the Crysta with this update, and honestly, they didn't need to. A car that's sold over 1.3 million units doesn't need a redesign, it needs a refresh, and that's exactly what Toyota has delivered. The front grille is now heavier on chrome, with new horizontal slats that give the face a bolder, more premium presence on the road. There's also a thick skid plate integrated into the bumper, complete with Crysta branding, which pushes that SUV-like rugged look that Indian buyers have responded so well to over the years. The side profile, on the other hand, is largely unchanged, and that's not a criticism, because this is a silhouette that has genuinely aged well over 2 decades. You still get the sleek, swept-back LED headlamps up front, with the fog lamps and turn indicators positioned lower down in the bumper. If you've seen an Innova on Indian roads any time in the last few years, you'll recognize this new one instantly. It's the same familiar face, just sharper, just a little more refined and a little more expensive looking than before. Now, let's step inside, because this is really where the 2026 update makes its biggest impression. Toyota has introduced a brand new Grace Copper color scheme, paired with a revised wood finish insert that runs across the dashboard, the door trims, and the bezels around the controls. On its own, this might sound like a small cosmetic tweak, but in person it makes a real difference. The cabin no longer feels like it's stuck in the past. It feels intentional, warmer, and noticeably more premium than the outgoing model. The seats have also been redone. You now get a dual-tone black and tan upholstery as standard on the updated trims, and depending on which variant you choose, you can pick between a 7-seater configuration with individual captain seats or an 8-seater layout with a more traditional bench arrangement in the second row. Toyota has been very clear that the segment-defining practicality of this car remains completely untouched. You still get 3 full rows of seating with genuine space for 3 adults over 6 feet tall, sitting comfortably one behind the other. The second row continues to offer both sliding and reclining functionality, which makes a massive difference on long highway drives. And Toyota has kept air conditioning vents running across all 3 rows, so nobody in the back is left sweating it out in the middle of summer. When it comes to material quality, Toyota has made a deliberate choice here, and it's worth understanding why. Instead of soft touch surfaces everywhere, you still get hard, durable plastics throughout most of the cabin. Now, by 2026 standards, this isn't going to feel plush or luxurious in the way a modern premium SUV might, but here's the trade-off that Crysta buyers have always accepted, and honestly, always appreciated. These plastics are built to survive a decade of Indian roads, constant use and heavy family duty, without cracking, fading, or falling apart. This is a car engineered for durability first and aesthetics second, and that philosophy hasn't changed with this update. Moving on to features and technology, the Crysta continues to play it practical rather than flashy, and that's very much by design. You get an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system with wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity, automatic climate control, cruise control for those long highway stretches, keyless entry with push-button start, and a powered driver's seat for quick and easy adjustments. New for 2026, Toyota has added a wireless phone charger and a tire pressure monitoring system, which are both genuinely useful, practical additions, rather than gimmicks. But let's be completely transparent here, because that's what this channel is all about. There is no digital driver's display, there is no panoramic sunroof, there are no ventilated front seats, and there is no premium branded sound system. If you're stepping into this car from a modern tech-loaded SUV, all of this is going to feel quite basic in comparison. But Toyota is clearly betting that Crysta buyers care far more about long-term reliability than they do about gadgets and screens. And if history is anything to go by, that bet has almost always paid off for them. Now let's talk about what's happening under the hood, because here too there are no surprises, and that is very much intentional. The Crysta continues exclusively with its 2.4-litre diesel engine, producing 150 horsepower and 343 newton-meters of torque. This is paired only with a 5-speed manual gearbox. There is no automatic transmission option available at all, and there is no petrol variant either, both of which have been discontinued in recent years as Toyota narrows the Crysta's focus towards its core loyal buyer base. You do get eco and power drive modes at standard, letting you switch between fuel efficiency and sharper acceleration response depending on your mood or your journey. On the safety front, Toyota equips the Crysta with up to 7 airbags depending on which variant you choose. And underpinning all of this is a proper old-school ladder frame chassis. This is exactly why fleet operators, taxi services, and long-distance traveling families continue to place their trust in this car. It's built to be driven hard for years on end without complaint, and that reputation is really the entire foundation this car has been built on for 2 decades. Let's get into the number everyone's been waiting for, and that's pricing. The 2026 Toyota Innova Crysta starts at approximately 19,72,000 rupees ex-showroom for the base GX variant and goes all the way up to around 26,60,000 to 26,80,000 rupees for the range-topping ZX variant. Toyota offers 5 distinct trims to choose from. There's the GX Fleet, which is reserved specifically for commercial and fleet operators, the GX Plus, the VX, and finally the top specs ZX. The first 4 of these give you the flexibility to choose between a bench seat layout or individual captain seats in the second row, while the range-topping ZX comes exclusively with captain seats as standard. If you're asking me for my personal pick, I'd point you toward the GX Plus variant. It strikes what I think is the best possible balance between features and price without having to pay extra for luxuries that most buyers simply won't use on a daily basis. One more thing worth flagging here. This particular update has pushed prices up by anywhere between 32,000 and 83,000 rupees depending on the variant when compared to the outgoing model. So if you were hoping this refresh might make the Crysta more affordable, unfortunately that isn't the case. Now let's keep things balanced and completely honest the way we always do on this channel. Let's talk about what genuinely works well with this car and what still holds it back. On the positive side, you're getting unmatched space and third-row comfort for this entire segment. A genuinely capable and efficient diesel engine with that classic rear-wheel drive character that enthusiasts still appreciate. Rock-solid resale value that very few cars in this price bracket can even come close to matching. And a practical cabin with excellent storage solutions and air conditioning vents running across all 3 rows. On the other side, there are a few real drawbacks worth knowing about before you commit. The car does feel a little expensive when you compare its feature list to some of its rivals. Ride quality can feel a bit jumpy and unsettled when the car is lightly loaded, particularly with just the driver on board. There continues to be no automatic transmission option available at all, and overall, the technology on offer does feel like it's falling behind some of the newer competitors entering this space. And now, here's the big question mark hanging over this entire update. Multiple industry reports are suggesting that this could genuinely be the last major update the Innova Crysta ever receives, with production expected to wind down completely by early 2027. This is happening as Toyota shifts its primary focus toward the newer Innova Hi-Cross and as stricter emissions norms come into effect across the industry. So if you've always specifically wanted a Crysta and not the Hi-Cross, this update might genuinely be your last real opportunity to own one brand new. So, coming to the final verdict, should you actually buy the 2026 Innova Crysta? If what you're looking for is a no-nonsense, virtually indestructible MPV that will comfortably clock 200,000 kilometers without drama, hold on to its resale value better than almost anything else on Indian roads, and carry your entire family in genuine spacious comfort, then yes, this remains one of the smartest, most dependable buys available in India today. But if what you're after is cutting-edge technology, an automatic gearbox, or a noticeably plusher ride quality, then the Innova Hycross or one of its modern rivals might honestly serve you better. Either way you look at it, this update feels like the Crysta's victory lap, and it's going out on a genuinely high note. That brings us to the end of today's review. I'd love to know what you think, so drop a comment down below and let me know, would you personally pick the Crysta or would you go with the Hycross in 2026? If this video helped you make sense of your next car purchase, do hit that subscribe button because we've got many more in-depth, honest car reviews coming your way every single week right here on Wheels of Luxury. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.